Jeremy glanced out the window, watching as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of deep orange and crimson. His parents had left him alone for the evening, promising to be back soon from their quick grocery run. It was a routine they followed every week, but tonight felt different. Tonight, the air seemed thicker, and the usual sounds of the neighborhood were muted. As darkness settled in, Jeremy tried to distract himself with video games and cartoons, but an uneasy feeling crept over him. The house, usually warm and inviting, now felt eerily quiet and unfamiliar. Every creak and groan of the old floorboards made him jump, and he found himself peeking over his shoulder more often than he cared to admit. Around 8 p.m., Jeremy decided to brave the kitchen for a snack. He tiptoed down the hall, his footsteps barely audible. The kitchen light flickered as he entered, casting long shadows that seemed to dance on the walls. Jeremy grabbed a pack of cookies and hurried back to the safety of the living room, where he curled up on the couch, munching nervously. Suddenly, a faint scratching noise echoed from upstairs. Jeremy froze, cookie halfway to his mouth, heart pounding in his chest. He strained to listen, his ears picking up nothing but the sound of his own shallow breaths. Maybe it was just the house settling, he reassured himself, trying to ignore the chill that had settled over him. Just as he was starting to relax, something caught his eye outside the window, a figure standing at the edge of the backyard. Jeremy's breath caught in his throat as he squinted, trying to make out what it was. A tall, slender shape, almost like a shadow against the darkness, swayed gently in the breeze. Fear gripped Jeremy's chest as he realized what, or who, it was. The stories he had heard from friends at school rushed to the forefront of his mind. The Slender Man, a figure of urban legend, said to prey on children who wandered alone at night. Jeremy's pulse raced as he fumbled for his phone, fingers trembling as he dialed his parents' number. No answer. Panic set in as he tried again and again, each attempt met with the same ominous silence. Tears welled up in his eyes as he considered his options. Should he run? Hide? Neither seemed like a safe choice with the Slender Man lurking just outside. A sudden thud from upstairs snapped Jeremy out of his thoughts. He whipped around, eyes wide with terror, as another noise followed. A slow, deliberate tapping coming down the stairs. Jeremy's mind raced, his body frozen in place as the tapping drew closer, step by agonizing step. Then silence. Jeremy held his breath, heart pounding in his ears. Minutes passed like hours before he dared to move. Slowly, he crept off the couch, inching toward the staircase. He strained to hear anything, footsteps, breathing, anything that would give away the presence of whatever was in his house. A faint whisper tickled his ear, a voice, soft and insidious. Jeremy! He whirled around, eyes wide with terror, but there was no one there. Just the empty hallway, shadows playing tricks in the dim light. Jeremy! The voice echoed again, closer this time. He turned back towards the stairs, heart racing as he saw it. A tall, featureless figure standing at the bottom step. Its limbs stretched unnaturally long, tendrils of darkness swirling around its form like a cloak. Jeremy's legs trembled as he stumbled backward, his mind screaming at him to run. But where could he go? The Slender Man blocked the only exit, its presence filling the room with a suffocating dread. Jeremy, come with me. The voice was hypnotic, sending shivers down his spine. He could feel its influence, a pull that threatened to drag him closer against his will. Tears streamed down his cheeks as he fought to resist, his breath coming in ragged gasps. In a desperate bid for escape, Jeremy dashed towards the kitchen, his heart pounding in his ears. He grabbed a knife from the drawer, clutching it tightly as he spun around to face the slender man. Its dark form loomed closer, tendrils writhing in anticipation. "Leave me alone," Jeremy screamed, brandishing the knife with trembling hands. "Get out of my house." For a moment, the slender man seemed to pause, as if contemplating Jeremy's defiance. Then, with a sudden burst of movement, it lunged forward, tendrils reaching out to ensnare him. Jeremy swung the knife wildly, striking out in blind terror. The blade connected with something, a sickening thud followed by an unearthly screech. Jeremy staggered back, panting heavily as he watched the slender man recoil, tendrils writhing in pain. It retreated into the shadows, its form dissipating like smoke until it vanished completely. Jeremy stood there, knife still clutched in trembling hands, disbelief washing over him. Had he really fought off the slender man? Or had it merely retreated, biding its time until another opportunity arose? The sound of car doors slamming outside snapped Jeremy back to reality. His parents were home. He dropped the knife, legs shaking as he stumbled towards the front door. They found him there, pale and shaken, tears streaming down his cheeks as he collapsed into their arms. It was real, Jeremy managed to choke out between sobs. The slender man, it was here. His parents exchanged worried glances, comforting him as they ushered him inside. They checked every room, finding nothing amiss except for their visibly shaken son. As they reassured him that everything was okay now, Jeremy couldn't shake the feeling that the darkness outside still held secrets, and that the slender man's chilling presence lingered just beyond the edge of the light.